Hello YouTube, it's the Crafty Missy here. Today I want to show you my latest craft project that I've made. And I want you to meet Sonali. She is a little felt plushie doll that I made during the last week. And I really like how she turned out. I was inspired to make her when I saw on DeviantArt, which is the website where you can find fan art and stuff like that. And on that website, I saw some plushies that had been made from the BBC series called Sherlock, which you can see in my What I Watch as I Craft video. I'm really a big fan of that show. When I saw those plushies, there was Sherlock and Dr. John Watson. So they were so adorable that I wanted to make some felt plushies myself. And Sonali is what I came up with. Now the name Sonali, by the way, is Indian. And I don't exactly know what it means, but I really like that name. So I just thought let's call her Sonali. And the way that I started making her was that I took a sheet of paper and I folded it in half. And what I did next was I drew on half of a doll body. So I drew half of a head and the neck and one hand and one foot. And then I cut it off and then I opened the sheet. And this is what it came out. And that way I knew that I had a symmetrical body. And I used this to cut 2 pieces of felt from skin tone, light skin tone colored felt. And then I just sewed those together. And I used, let me try to show you if you can see the stitches there. Nope, maybe now. Yeah. So I just used sewing thread and I just sewed them together using small stitches. And after that, I cut a lot of different pieces from hot pink felt, different sizes and different lengths. Well, actually, they were all approximately the same width, but the length was different in them. And then I just sewed them on the head, and that was a bit of that was difficult because it was hard to sew them on so that you couldn't see the thread poking out from between the hair. And after that I wanted to have eyes for her, and what I did was because at that time I had already sewn my plushie, so I had the doll and I had stuffed it a little bit. As you can see, Sonali is not completely flat, she has some stuffing inside her. So I was looking at my big bag of buttons, and I have in here different buttons, small ones and bigger ones. And then I saw these buttons here, these ones, and I noticed that they were perfect. They had this perfect strange shape and they didn't have any holes. So then I just thought that those would be really good eyes, and I was right. I took them and then I glued them on, and that way I had these kind of sad looking little eyes. I think she has kind of like almost like an anime look to her, which was not something I actually tried to get, but I still think she has it. So yeah, so then I had my doll, and then I wanted to make some clothes for her. And what I did was I drew some patterns, but before I drew the patterns, I put the plain doll like this on a sheet of paper, and I drew all around her. And I got this headless pattern that I used to draw the patterns for the clothes. And I used the stuffed doll to do that because this is a little wider pattern than this one, because this was the one that I used to cut the felt for the doll. But since the doll was stuffed, I thought that I needed to get, like a pattern from the stuffed doll, and I did this. And then I just used this to, and a sheet on top of this to create my patterns. And for this she has a sleeveless dress underneath here, and as you can see there's a little pocket in there with a button, and it's embroidered with these flowers. And so that's sewn on her, so you can't take this dress off. It's sewn on her. And I did the dress pattern the same way that I did the actual doll pattern. So I took a folded sheet of paper and I drew half of the dress. And then when I had drawn half of the dress, I cut it out, and still keeping it folded, I took a little pin like this, and then I just pierced the actual, you know, because this is a seam allowance, so this is the actual dress, and I pierced it all the way through, and that way I also had the dress pattern on this other side where it hadn't been drawn. And then I used this to cut the dress pieces. And I did the same with the jacket. Here you can see the jacket. The jacket is made out of 3 pieces, and it's completely covered in buttons, almost. Not completely, but you know, here at the front at least. And I did the same thing. So I drew half of a jacket pattern. Here you can see that one. And then I again pierced it with the needle so that I got the seam allowances on both sides, and that really helped. And I cut one whole piece, that's the back, so one piece like that, and then one piece like that, and one piece like that. So then I got 3 pieces, and then I just sewed them together. Here you can see. Oops. See some of that. So they are sewn that way. And then I wanted, obviously, for her to have little shoes. Okay, today we do not want to focus. There we go. So I created this pale yellow little booties, and they have different colored buttons on them. And I did the same thing. I just cut 2 pieces, 2 patterns. So let me show you. This is the front pattern, and this is the back pattern. And I cut, and then, you know, I sewed them together like this. And then I cut 1 pair like this, and then I turned them over and cut 1 piece. So that way I got all the parts I needed. And the booties come off, so I can change her booties if I want to. And then I cut this 1 long piece of blue, pale blue felt, and cut the ends like this, and just made her a little scarf. And then I cut 1 long string of orange colored, or pale orange, that's actually pale orange felt, and tied that little ribbon in her hair. And so that way I have created myself a little cute felt plushie, and I really like her a lot, and I would like to create more plushies like this. But I would like to actually create Harry Potter characters, because I've been a fan for so long and such a huge fan. But I don't have any black felt, so I haven't been able to make a character. I should go and buy some stuff before I attempt any Harry Potter characters, because I mostly have these pastel colored felts, and those are maybe not the colors of Hogwarts. But anyway, I might try that. I hope I will. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.